Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is gonna be a pretty fun day. We are playing with a whole bunch of new products that I was just sent from Pixi. Hold on, let me just show you the box that this stuff came in. Look at this. I can't even fit. It's massive. This thing is like gigantic. It's like half the size of me. So this is the box that contained all of the new Pixi Pretties collaborations. So Pixi teamed up with 3 different influencers to create some really amazing collab products, and I have all of them here today, and I'm going to be sharing with you this look that I created, giving you my initial thoughts on testing everything out. I had not swatched anything or tried anything prior to sitting down to film this video, so you're getting my honest kind of first reactions to testing, swatching, trying all of the products. I am going to leave them on my face for the rest of the day. It's probably around like 1 o'clock right now, so I will check in this evening and let you guys know how everything is holding up, if it like came off my face after an hour or two, because I know first impressions, while they're fun and it's exciting just to kind of get to see the application and how products look at first glance, they're not always indicative of how the product's going to perform long term. And if something's going to look like junk after an hour or two, it's probably not worth it. So I do want to do that wear test for you guys, so that will be coming later in the video. But for now, let me quickly show you guys what the products are that we're talking about. So the first collab product is from Chloe Morello. So she created this palette of face and eye products. You get 3 blushes, and then you get 3 duos of shimmery eyeshadows, and then 3 colors here that can be good for your brows or as a liner on your eyes. This is called the Palette Chloette Romantic Radiance. So this has some really pretty neutral shades, very like spring tone, very wearable for every day. There is this like random strip of mirror here that I don't really understand, because I feel like you can't see your whole face in this kind of mirror. So why is it even here? I would have rather had the palette be thinner and not include that. So that's a little bit weird, but I do think this palette overall looks pretty. Chloe also created a lip product. This is the Lip Icing in the shade Cake, which is a glittery duochromatic lip topper that smells like frosting, and it is kind of gorgeous. So this I was very excited to put on my lips. Honestly, I didn't swatch or test anything, I suppose, but I did put this on as soon as I got the PR package, because like I couldn't wait. And it's really lovely. It feels really nice on your lips. So excited to show you guys this more up close. Then the next collaborator is Dulce Candy. She released 2 palettes. One is a lip and cheek palette that has 9 shades here. This is called Sugar and Spice, or it's, well, Dulce's Lip Candy in the shade Sugar and Spice. So again, this is a lot of like pink tones, rosy, berry tones, which is very common for Pixi. I feel like in general Pixi's vibe is very girly, soft, feminine. It's not like super ultra glam. Like you're never gonna find a lot of like crazy weird colors. It's usually sort of more soft, ethereal, feminine, natural is like the general vibe. So I feel like this sums that up pretty well. And then this stunner here is the Café con Dulce Sweet Glow palette for face and eyes. So you could use these as highlighters, eyeshadows, blush, toppers, bronzers. There's a whole really beautiful mix of shades here. Wait till you guys see the swatches of this. OMG. It is so stunning. And then the final collaboration is with Weylie. I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, so I apologize for that. But Weylie came up with a little eye duo. So you get an eyeshadow palette and then a double-ended liner. And I actually like that these 2 products are purchased together, whereas everything else is I've shown you guys so far has been something you can purchase individually. But this little guy here, this 6-pan eyeshadow palette comes with the liner, so you don't have to buy them separately. So I think that that's kind of nice. So this is a nice little staple eyeshadow palette. It has everything you need to create a single look. You've got your transition shades, highlights, a little pop of shimmer for the lid. The only thing you're maybe missing in here is like a lighter matte tone shade, although that might not necessarily be something every complexion needs. So I feel like in terms of versatility and like universal appeal, I think she picked 6 really nice colors for this palette. So this is very cute. I am a fan. And I love the whole idea of a double-ended liner. This has a felt tip liner and a automatic twist up gel pencil liner. So you kind of like don't even have to worry about carrying 2 separate products around. You kind of get everything you need in one convenient little stick. So those are all the products we're going to be playing with today. Pretty much everything you need to create a complete like color look on your face. So I'm gonna be scooching you guys a little bit closer so we can do some application, play around with things, and you can see how everything works. All right, so I started out by just applying my base. I've powdered, concealed, and I put on a little bit of bronzer because that's the only thing I think this collection doesn't really have is a bronzer product. But everything else we're going to try to do today using these new Pixi Pretties Collab products. So I want to start by finishing up my face makeup. So I'm thinking we're going to be using some things from these two palettes here. The first one is this Chloe Morello palette Chloette Romantic Radiance palette. So this here has 3 blush shades and then a bunch of different eye shades that I think can also double as highlighters, like these two down here. So I think we're going to use one of these blush shades today. But then I also have the Dulce Candy palette, and this one has 9 different shades that you can use on face or eyes, which look really, really beautiful. So these look, some of them like they're gonna be highlights, blush toppers, etc. I'm thinking we'll maybe use one of these shades up here as a highlight. So let me see. I'm gonna start out with the blush shades here. Let's give these guys a swatch and see how they feel. Ooh, very, very soft actually. That's really nice. And it looks like all of them have just a slight hint of shimmer. So let's do a little swatch test here. Very pretty. Like, I think that these are gonna be like not overly pigmented, which I actually appreciate for a blush because I don't want my blush to be something I have to be super, super careful with. I'd rather it be buildable. I feel like that makes it look much more natural. It's much easier to control. So which of these shades do I like best? I'm actually kind of gravitating towards this rosy shade up here. I think that's really, really pretty. Let's go for something that I know works really well. This is the Sonia Kashuk blush brush that they don't make anymore. It's so beautiful though, so I feel like this will give it the best shot of application. So we're gonna just tap in here. There's like no fallout, which is really nice. And I can see that there's a little bit of product on the brush. Let's go in. Oh yeah, that is very pretty. Like, it adds like a nice little sheen to your cheeks, but it's not overly intense. I think that looks really beautiful. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of this. I feel like it gives your skin a natural glow. Like, it's not a flat matte blush. It has a bit of radiance, but it's not sparkly. There's no glitter or anything like that. I feel like this color is really like healthy, especially on my skin tone. It looks like just like a really nice flush. This one that I am using is the shade Romance, which is the bottom one here. Not gonna lie, guys, I'm like really excited to play with this palette because it just looks stunning. I'm like kind of afraid to swatch it because it just looks so pristine and perfect in the pans, but like I want to know what it's gonna be like. So let's give these highlighter shades a swatch. Oh my god, they feel creamy. Ooh. Oh, those are so nice. Okay, okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, oh yeah. I like swatched one on my knuckles there. This is what happens when I'm not looking at what I'm doing. But yeah, these look so stunning. Oh my goodness, this is so, so pretty. I'm a fan. Okay, I definitely need to put these on my cheeks, but let's just, for ha-has, let's maybe swatch a couple of these middle shades just to see what they look like. Oh, I love pinks. I feel like these would be really beautiful blush toppers. Oh, oh, that is so pretty. I mean, it definitely looks like just a little tiny bit chunky, but I feel like it would blend out really beautifully. So yeah, I am all about this right now. This is like shiny, beautiful heaven, and I cannot wait to put it on my face. I think for a highlight, this middle shade up here in the top row is going to suit my skin best. I'm just gonna go in with my Luxie tapered highlighting brush and we'll see how well this applies. Oh yeah. Hello highlight. You are stunning. Oh, that is so freaking pretty. Oh my goodness, I'm very impressed. Very impressed. That is just like a wet highlight. Oh, like beautiful. I feel like it just gives your skin that like super radiant, healthy glow, but it really isn't chunky on the skin. Like, I'm not seeing that it's really like, okay, so any highlight might emphasize texture like a little bit, but I don't feel like this has that like chunky, glittery, metallic look that makes the texture on your skin really, really apparent and stand out. I just think it's gorgeous. A+ Dulce Candy, you did a good job with this one. So I'm gonna come back to the Chloe Morello palette because she's got this like little trio in here of eyeshadows that I think you could use for liner or for your brows. So we're actually gonna use this as a brow powder today to fill in my brows because as you can see, they're not done yet. And I was just curious to see how it would work. So I think I'm gonna start with like the lighter shade, and I probably will also mix in some of the medium shade. Obviously, I'm probably not gonna put black in my brows, but we'll see kind of how this goes and how much pigmentation there is. Okay, so the light shade is definitely very light, so that's not really showing up too much. Let's go in with that medium brown. Yeah, that's a much better color for me. I definitely appreciate palettes that can multitask, especially if I'm going to travel with them, because it just means taking less space in my suitcase. It's just more convenient than having to like fish around for 100 products. So not having to carry an extra brow thing, especially if I was going somewhere where I didn't need to go like above and beyond with like super glam, I was kind of going on a more casual little trip, I feel like this would just be really nice to throw in my bag. So I just want to show you guys, so there was like no fallout in the blushes, but when you tap into these eye shades, there definitely is some fallout from the pan. It's not like really falling out on my face at all, like I'm not noticing powder getting all over my eyes as I'm doing my brows, but just as a little FYI, there is a little bit of kickback in the pan. All right, so those are brows done. Obviously, they're a little bit dark without the rest of my eye makeup being on, but I feel like that was pretty easy. It actually is pretty soft, filled in nicely, and I think this color works pretty well for my hair, so all in all, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Now, when it comes to the eye shades in this palette, it looks like aside from the liner brow shades, all the rest of these are shimmery. So I think for the actual eye look we're gonna create today, we're gonna go in with the Weylie eye palette. This is so cute and I love these colors. I feel like they are so perfect to create like a nice warm toned neutral eye look. So I think we're gonna use this primarily today to do our eyes. So I'm gonna grab a little blending brush here. I'm gonna start with, I think, what do I want to do? I think I'm gonna start with the neutral brown shade first in the crease as a transition. So just as an FYI, again, as I'm tapping into here, there's a little bit of kickback in the pan, but it's not crazy. Also looks pretty pigmented on the brush there, so I'm excited to see how these work. I really, really loved the Pixi It's Judy Time palette that they released last year in collaboration with like the whole Pixi's Pretty thing. So I definitely have kind of high expectations when it comes to Pixi and their eyeshadows because I know that they are capable of producing something really nice. And so far I feel like these are blending out pretty nicely. The pigmentation is good, so feeling pretty good about this, Pixi. All right, so now that I've got that transition shade in there, I think I'm gonna go in now with the warmer tone here on another clean brush. And I'm just gonna kind of take this right on the top edge because I just wanna add like a little bit of warmth just right here at the top of the crease. Yeah, I think that's really pretty. And then I think I'm gonna take the darker shade, this like darker red, and I'm gonna just kind of concentrate that in the lower part of the crease and the outer V. These are applying very nicely, very, very easily. I feel like the pigmentation is very easy to work with, like it definitely stands out. You can see it, but it's not patchy or difficult to blend. So I'm feeling good about this right now. So there are these two shimmery shades here. I'm gonna swatch these guys so we can see what they look like. Ooh, this one is like almost got like, it's got a little more grit to it because it feels kind of glittery. Of course, I'm like covered in swatches already. All right, let's swatch these here so we can see. Very pretty. So the lighter one definitely looks like more of a highlight. I think I'm going to put that on the inner corner, but I think I'm going to put this pinkier shade all over the lid. Judging by the texture, I'm going to try applying the pinky shade with my finger. This one definitely does feel chunkier, like it has more fallout because it's kind of more glittery. So I have a feeling that like if you wet this one or applied it over a glitter glue, that might kind of help to keep it in place. Oh, yeah, that is so pretty. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that went on like full pigmentation, no problem at all. Just gonna go back in with my blending brush just to make sure the top edge here is blended. Well, that's stunning. Weylie, you outdid yourself. That is super pretty. And I definitely could see, like you could also easily use one of these shades all over the lid because they're so light reflective. So I'm really happy. Like this whole collection, I feel like thus far is playing really, really well together. So I'm gonna finish up the inner corner. I'm gonna grab like just like a little pencil brush. I'm gonna take that light champagne shade. We're just gonna pop this right into the inner corner of my eye. Ooh, I'm also gonna grab another little crease brush here, and I'm gonna just take a little bit of that light highlight shade up here on the brow bone. Ooh, yeah. Stunning. I feel like I am ridiculously glowy right now, and I do not hate it. Almost forgot to do my lower lash line. I'm gonna take, actually on the lower lash, I think this warm shade here on my little pencil brush, and I'm just gonna smudge this along the lower lash line. Love, love, very, very pleased. All right, so moving along. So what's cool about the Weylie kit here, so it's not just a palette, it also comes with this black liner pencil duo. This reminds me a lot of my Tarte Tarteist Double Take liner, which is one of my favorites, but it's like literally double the price of this. So on one end here, we have a felt tip liquid liner, which is cool. And then on the other end here, we have a twist up gel pencil liner. So you basically get two products in one. So I think what I'm going to do is go in with the gel side, and I'm gonna tight line my eyes because I think this will just make my false lashes and everything blend in even better with my lash line. So far it feels pretty creamy. It's not like tugging or anything like that, and it's definitely showing up on my upper waterline. I'm not really as big of a fan of lining my lower waterline with black because I feel like it definitely kind of like closes my eyes off, so I'm going to avoid doing that. But I am going to take the felt tip liner side here, and we are going to see how this works to create a wing. So that was surprisingly easy. I feel like this is a pretty like juicy pen, like it has a lot of product, which is nice. The only thing I'm noticing is that it is shiny. I don't know if it's going to dry down more matte. I usually prefer my liquid liner to be matte, but we can also always set it if we don't want it to be shiny. So I definitely went a little heavier with the wing liner game than I intended to, but that's really more user error than it is the product. That's fine. Anyway, I'm going to curl my lashes, apply some mascara, throw some falsies on, and then we'll meet right back so we can do lips. And lashes are on, and all we have left to do is our lips. So Dulce Candy has this lip palette that she released in addition to the eye and cheek palette. So these are the 9 colors. They look really, really beautiful. So it said you could actually use these on your lips or your cheeks. Obviously, we're not going to use them on our cheeks today, but they do look really pretty. I'm trying to decide what one I think will go with today's look. I'm thinking like maybe a mix of these 2 shades would be nice. I do have a little lip brush here. Why don't we start out with the darker color, and we'll see how that goes, because I can always add the lighter color to the center of the lips. So that's got like a sort of like, I would say medium opacity. Like it's definitely applying color, but it's still sheer enough that you can see a little bit of my natural lip color coming through. This one's also more pink, I think, than I was expecting. Like it looked a little more almost like rosy in the pan, but it's definitely coming across pink on the lips. It sort of feels almost balmy. Like it doesn't feel goopy, it doesn't feel like greasy really, it feels like quite lightweight. I think that color is really beautiful, like as a spring shade. I'm curious though if I mix in some of this like middle peach shade here, what that will look like. I think that is super pretty. I feel like that actually goes with the look really nicely. It's very soft, very springy, very feminine. and it feels nice too. So, I mean, I don't get the feeling this is gonna be a super long wearing lip product. Like this kind of feels to me like something that you're gonna need to reapply, which is the only downside with lip palettes. It's like, okay, this is beautiful. You have all these different shades to play with. You can kind of experiment and mix and match, and I think that's great. But that being said, you know, if you don't have a lip brush with you, you could apply these with your fingers, but it's, I think, gonna be kind of messy and it's hard to get a more precise application. And unless you have like a retractable lip brush, are you really gonna throw this in your bag? So I kind of feel like for practicality's sake, this is not the most practical palette, but I think that it's pretty, and I feel like the actual quality of like the look you get on your lips and the like the color pigmentation, it's really nice. So there is one other lip product from this collaboration. It is from Chloe Morello, and this is, what is it called? The Lip Icing in the shade Cake. Look at how beautiful and sparkly and gorgeous this is. I don't know if it really picks up on camera, but this is like a lip topper with like pink and gold micro glitter in it. It looks so beautiful. This smells like lemon pound cake. It smells delicious. So we're just gonna pop a little bit of this guy right on top. That's pretty. It's very moisturizing and it's not too gritty, even though it's definitely got a lot of glitter in it. It doesn't have a lot of that glittery feel that sometimes you get with like a glitter gloss. And you can definitely see the sparkle on the lips, but it's not like too intense. Like it's kind of like a very subtle sparkle. And I feel like that looks really nice over the existing lip products that we applied. So that is it. This is my completed final look. What do you guys think? I'm really into it. I feel like my makeup looks beautiful today. I am all about this. I feel like these products are so stunning. I like can't get over my cheek highlight right now. I feel like it just, my face feels like it's glowing. It's so beautiful. My eyes too. I feel like this eyeshadow looks gorgeous. I love the color combination. Obviously I went pretty dramatic and adding the liner and the lashes and everything, so you don't have to go that ham for sure, but I feel like it lends itself well to both dramatic and sort of soft looks. Like overall, I feel like these products are very Pixi. Pixi's whole branding and their whole vibe is very soft, feminine. I feel like they are the epitome of like springtime makeup. Just their color palettes, even their packaging being green and everything, like that soft light green shade. I feel like they are the epitome of what makeup at this time of the year is all about. And I feel like all the girls and their collabs really nailed it with channeling both Pixi's vibes and that sort of soft feminine look. Everything performed very, very well. I really wasn't disappointed, honestly, in anything that I tried, and that's saying a lot because that doesn't happen often when I'm trying out, especially this much makeup. So I am going to zoom you guys back out and share some final thoughts, and we'll wrap things up. So final thoughts on this whole collaboration. I think these ladies did a fantastic job. I don't think there were any real duds of anything that I tried from this entire collection. I think everything performed really beautifully and kind of as I would expect for a Pixi product. Like, I wouldn't really think about Pixi as having like super full-on matte opaque like lip products, for example, because to me I feel like their lip products have always been a little bit more natural and easy wearable. Like that's just what the brand reminds me of. So I feel like part of this is knowing what you want and what kind of look you're looking to create. And if you enjoy kind of Pixi's vibes, I think these products are like an excellent representation of the brand, and the quality is pretty top notch. Now, that being said, Pixi is a little bit more expensive than your average drugstore brand. So like the majority of these palettes retail for $24, which is a lot for a drugstore palette. If you're used to picking something up in the like $10 to $15 mark, this is going to be a little bit more than that. But I feel like the quality is definitely there. And like, I think, you know, of everything, I feel like this palette's probably the most unique to my collection. Like, I don't really have a highlighter palette, and I feel like this is a little bit even more than that, and it gives you so much to play with, and the quality of these swatches were just like unreal. This was such a beautiful palette. Like, absolutely love this. This is something that I would definitely have gone out and purchased with my own money. I also think that I was really impressed with Weylie's duo. This is something I also would have purchased with my own money because I think this is just super convenient for traveling. I love the eyeliner. I think this is a nice little set, especially if you don't have 100 million warm toned little eyeshadow palettes, which I definitely do, But if you don't, I think this would be a nice thing to get. Probably the thing that I would be least likely to purchase on my own would be the lip palette, just because lip palettes aren't something I reach for on a regular basis, and I feel like they're just not as practical as a bullet lipstick or a lip balm. So this for $24 wouldn't have been worth it for me to buy, but not because it's not a good product, it's just because it's something I probably wouldn't get as much use out of. And then Chloe's palette I think is really nice. I think the blush shades are really beautiful. I think that these shimmery eye shades, they're nice, but they're a little less exciting to me because they're kind of neutral, boring shades that I can find in a lot of other palettes. I do like that she included the brow and liner colors as well. Like, I feel like this palette is overall a little more versatile in the sense of you can kind of create a more complete look with this palette. So if you want like one and done for everything, this is the way to go. But I feel like this one blew me away a little bit less than the Dulce palette, just because that one was just like so shiny and pretty, and I love shiny things. So ultimately it's kind of a matter of like, what are your needs? What are you most likely to actually use? Because I don't think that any of these products are bad. Also, this guy is a stunner. I mean, this is beautiful, and I think this retails for around $12. It's either 12 or 14. Either way, it's definitely a lot less than what you would spend for something similar at Sephora, and I feel like this is very comparable to like the Bite Prismatic glosses, but it's less sticky. Like, this definitely has a very smooth application on the lips, and it feels hydrating, but it's not like greasy, it's not too like plumping or sticky or tacky or anything like that. It's really, really nice. So again, if you're kind of into this lip trend, I think this is a really beautiful and fun product to pick up. So with all that being said, I am going to go film another video. I gotta film my March favorites, which you will probably see before you see this video. And then I will be checking in with you guys later to let you know how this makeup is looking, if it's still looking this beautiful, or 6 hours from now if I'm kind of over it. And I'm back. It is, what time is it? 10:11 at night. I don't know if you can see that, but it's after 10 p.m. I'm tired. I am ready to take my lashes off, take my makeup off, get in my pajamas. Your girl's been working all day and I'm exhausted. But before I can do that, I need to give you guys a check-in on how all this Pixi makeup has been holding up this entire day. From what I can see in the viewfinder right now, my makeup actually still looks pretty darn good. I'm kind of impressed, but I'm gonna pull you guys a little bit closer so that way you can really see what's going on. All right, so we're just going to ignore the fact that my skin is like hella shiny right now because I haven't powdered or blotted in a while, and this oily situation is not what we are trying to check on today. Also, my Invisalign trays are in, so I have a little bit of a lisp, so we're just gonna roll with that as well. Anyway, so for this makeup, obviously the lip, totally gone. That was gone pretty quickly. After I ate lunch, it was basically non-existent. I ended up applying a different lip product real quick before I sat down to film my favorites video today because I didn't really feel like futzing with the lip brush. So my general feeling on the lip product, like the lip palette, is that the colors are really pretty, they look really nice, they feel pretty good, but they're not long wearing, and it's definitely something you would need to reapply, which is kind of the downside of it being a lip palette and something you might not want to bring with you in your purse. I am really curious to see how they perform as cheek colors though. I did swatch the whole palette. I'm planning on doing like a full blog review once I've had a chance to play around with everything a little bit more. And the texture definitely felt a little more like creamed powdery, especially with certain colors more than others. So I have a feeling that they could be really nice cream blushes. So that is something I will have to experiment with and let you guys know how that works out. As for my face makeup, I feel like my blush, bronzer, and highlight, like, it's definitely kind of faded a little bit. I'm also just really shiny, so I kind of feel like that's making the highlight look even that much more glowy than it actually looks in real life, but it's not completely gone. So considering that it's been, what, like 9 hours since I put this makeup on, like, I feel like it's holding up pretty well. The eyeshadow though, let's look at that eyeshadow. I'm just gonna look down so you guys can see what's going on there, but I feel like it's held up really, really well. I mean, like, my eye makeup looks almost about just as good as it did when I first put it on. The liner isn't smudging or flaking or doing anything weird. It's stayed pretty much put. The eyeshadow is still pretty vibrant. The shimmer even, like, it's maybe faded a little bit, but I still see a pretty intense sparkle on my lids from where I applied that light shade. So I'm really into this right now. Side note, by the way, unrelated kind of, but the lashes I'm wearing, these are Velour lashes in the style Doll Me Up. So comfortable. You would think for these being so big, I mean, I've had them on for 9 hours and my eyes don't feel irritated. So take what you want from that. Honestly, even my eyebrows look pretty good. Like, I don't see that they look faded. Like, they still look pretty pristine. Like, aside from the fact that I'm obviously shiny and that my makeup around my nose is starting to come off because I've blown my nose and like I kissed my husband, and of course my foundation over my nose always like rubs off on him, all that kind of stuff. So like my makeup isn't perfect, but I feel like for 9 hours worth of wear, this looks pretty good. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I hope this little first impression kind of wear test thing was helpful for you, especially if you were curious about these new Pixi Collab products. Overall, I'm really impressed with them. I feel like they did a really great job. So thank you so much to Pixi for sending me these goodies so that I could try them out and review them for you guys. If you guys like these review style videos, give this one a thumbs up. I always really appreciate your feedback. And again, if you're not already subscribed and you want to see more from me in the future, make sure you click that button before you go. I'm gonna go take my makeup off, I'm gonna go get comfy, and I'm gonna go to bed. So I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.